this video, you guys, we're going to be breaking down our NFL game picks heading into week 8 of the NFL season here. Video's coming out a little bit late this week. You guys didn't have quite enough time to get it out before the Thursday night matchup between the Packers and the Cardinals. I'll just give you guys a quick update on that one. I did have the Cardinals upsetting my Packers. I guess it wasn't an upset. They were favored to win. But I had the Cardinals taking it 30-21 over the Green Bay Packers. I just thought with the Packers injury woes, they wouldn't be able to overcome them. Obviously, with Davante Adams going down with COVID and everything like that, I just didn't think we were going to have enough juice to be able to beat this hot Cardinals team. And I was pleasantly surprised. I'm glad that I ended up starting the week 0-1 as the Packers able to come in and upset them by a final score of 24-21. So we are 0-1 to start this week. We'll just go through last week's picks as well. We had a 9-3 record last week. Not too shabby, staying above 500. And so far on the season, you guys were at 67-36 overall record. If you add in the loss for the Thursday night game where I ended up picking up the Cardinals, we're actually 67-37 overall this season. So 30 games above 500, which is pretty good for a pick'em. For the pick'ems here, each week that we've been doing it so far, so pretty stoked on the plus 30, you guys. Hopefully we can keep it rolling this weekend. We'll have to see what happens. Right real quick before we go ahead and start breaking down this video, you guys, if you can go ahead and like this video. If you like sporting content like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're looking for more sporting content like this in the near future. Been getting a lot of support lately from you guys, and I greatly appreciate it, man. We're going to keep coming out with as much content as possible here in the near future. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start breaking down these games, starting off with the Sunday early game matchups. We got the Dolphins versus the Bills, you guys. Dolphins have been an absolute shambles this season. Now they're in the Deshaun Watson talks. Feel bad for Tua. The guy has had no opportunity within this organization to prove that he can be a capable starter. Hasn't even played a full 16 or 17 game season yet, and they're already giving up on the guy. Just baffling to me, to be honest with you. I don't think Deshaun Watson's the right answer. I don't even think Deshaun Watson's going to be able to play this season, nor will he be able to play next season, depending on his legal struggles. So I think it's just going to be an absolute beatdown. I think the Bills are going to come ready to play, obviously, after that tough loss to Tennessee before they head into their bye week, where Josh Allen slipped on the fourth down play. So I expect them to come out and hand them a big time L to the Dolphins here. I can't see the Buffalo Bills losing, especially coming out of a bye week off of a loss. They're going to want to get back on track here. So I'm going to go Buffalo Bills 33-20 over the Dolphins, you guys. And we'll have it over the Panthers versus the Falcons. This should be another pretty decent game. The Panthers are kind of reeling right now. Lost 4 in a row, I believe. Falcons are kind of coming back to their own here a little bit, getting to that 500 club. I think they can probably take this game against the Panthers. Sam Darnold has not looked very good so far in the last few weeks. He had a great start to the season, but since then he's just been falling off an absolute cliff here. I really like that connection that's starting to be built between Matt Ryan and Kyle Pitts. They got a nice thing going between them two. Obviously, Calvin Ridley's still a stud there on the wide receiver core for the Atlanta Falcons. Their defense is starting to come along nicely there. So I'm going to take the Falcons 27-24 on their home field there, you guys. Then we got the Steelers versus the Browns. Baker Mayfield's coming back off of that shoulder injury, even though he's still got the torn labrum there. He did have a cracked humerus bone, I believe, as well. Hopefully that's all fully healed. I'd be shocked if it's fully healed, but it's probably, 80-90%. And then obviously the torn labrum is going to need off-season surgery. So we'll have to see how Baker performs, still dealing with that nagging shoulder injury. Thankfully, it's not his throwing arm, but nonetheless, it still can't feel very good on a day-to-day basis when you're trying to, play through those hits and things like that, launching the deep balls down the field. I'm sure it still doesn't feel great for the guy. But I do think they're going to have enough to be able to hang on versus this Steelers team. I just don't trust that Steelers offensive line right now. And I think that with the pass rush of the Cleveland Browns, they're going to be able to hit home on Ben Roethlisberger a few times in this game. So I'm going to take the Browns in a close one, you guys, by a final score of 24-21. Then we got the Bengals versus the Jets here. Obviously, Zach Wilson went down with the injury. He's out for a few weeks, so they ended up going getting Joe Flacco, a veteran quarterback, which, probably a good move. Unfortunately, they had to give, I think, like a 5th round or a 6th round pick for the guy, so not very good move on the Jets' part, having to give away draft capital for an aging quarterback. Who's really only going to be there for the rest of this season, and then that'll probably be it. But nonetheless, there's no way the Jets are going to have a chance here against the Bengals, in my opinion. Bengals have been on a hot streak lately. Been outstanding so far this season. Probably one of the biggest surprises in the league so far this year. Joe Burrow's looked really good coming off of that knee surgery. Jamar Chase has put his drop woes from the preseason completely behind him, looking like an absolute stud of a wide receiver. Bengals defense has looked pretty stout this season so far as well. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Bengals by a final score of 30-17 in that one, you guys. We've got a huge divisional matchup coming up next between the Titans and the Colts. Colts come up with a huge Sunday night win versus the San Francisco 49ers in a heavy rainstorm on Sunday there. Carson Wentz looks like he's rounding into form, back with his old coach, Frank Reich. Obviously, we already knew the Colts defense was a nasty defense there. We knew that they had the capabilities of being a Super Bowl caliber defense. It was just all about, will Carson Wentz and that offense be able to hold down the fort and be able to help him out there. Obviously, they did a good job against San Francisco, who's kind of reeling right now. But the Titans are on a hot streak too, with a couple huge wins against the Kansas City Chiefs as well as the Buffalo Bills in the last couple of weeks. So this should be a really good matchup, but I think the Colts are going to be able to upset the Titans here on their home field, especially as the Titans have already beaten once this year. They don't want to lose that season series 2-0. So I'm going to take the Colts in a close one, you guys, by a final score of 30-27. Then we got the Eagles versus the Lions. Battle of two bad teams right now, you guys. This is a 50-50 game to me, even though the Lions haven't won yet this year. I really don't trust the Eagles team right now. They're kind of up and down and all over the place. They take a lot of bad penalties as well. The Lions have kind of been in shambles the last couple of weeks. They haven't really been competing and been that close in some of the games. Obviously, a tough loss versus the Rams last week there, which was to be expected. The Rams are hands down just a better team than the Lions. But in this game here, the Lions are playing on their home field. I'm going to go ahead and maybe pick a little bit of an upset here. I think the Lions are going to be able to take their first victory of the season over the Eagles here in a close one, you guys. I'm going to take the Lions 24-20 over the Eagles in this one. Then we got the 49ers versus the Bears playing at Soldier Field here. The Bears have looked absolutely atrocious the last couple of weeks, losing 38-3 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The week before that, they lost 24-14 versus my Packers. They just have not been able to generate any offense the last few weeks here. Justin Fields has not looked very good, to be honest with you guys. He's missing a lot of throws, throwing a lot of interceptions, fumbling the ball, getting sacked like crazy. Just hasn't really looked good. Not all his fault, obviously. That offensive line is terrible. They really don't have a great wide receiver core. They basically got Allen Robinson, and that's pretty much it. Their tight end room also isn't very good. So they don't have a lot of weapons right now. Obviously, David Montgomery's down with injury. So it's been a rough go for the Bears these last few weeks, and I expect it to continue to be a rough go because the 49ers are very, very desperate for a win, especially after that tough loss on Sunday Night Football on their home field there to the Colts. I expect them to bounce back in this game and try and get back on track here with a 30-21 victory over the Bears. And we got the Rams versus the Texans, you guys, for our last Sunday early matchup. Obviously, this is an easy pick one, you guys. The Rams should be able to win this one pretty handily. Texans have looked terrible since that Week 1 victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Obviously, I think they would have had a little bit better of a season so far if they would have had Tyrod Taylor being healthy, but obviously him going down, and I think it was the second game he got injured in. They've had David Mills, or Davis Mills, whatever his name is there, that rookie quarterback for the Texans. He's looked just atrocious so far this year, has not looked very good at all. So I expect this one to be a easy victory for the Rams, you guys. I'm going to go 35-14 for the LA Rams in that one. And then heading over to the Sunday afternoon games, we got the Patriots versus the Chargers. This should be a real good matchup. Obviously, the Patriots are coming off an absolute dustation over the Jets, scoring 50-plus points on them. Mac Jones has looked pretty solid so far this year for a rookie. Probably one of the better rookie QBs so far this season. Chargers are coming off a bye week, I believe. So they're going to want to, be ready to go here against a good Patriots squad. Obviously, it's going to be a good coaching matchup here with Bill Belichick going against Justin Herbert and that offense there. I do think the Chargers are going to be able to hang on for a victory here on their home field, though. I don't think the Patriots are going to have enough firepower to be able to get it done in this one. So I'm going to take the Chargers by a final score of 27-21. Then we got the Bucs versus the Saints, you guys, in a huge divisional matchup here. The Saints come up with a big win on Monday Night Football versus the Seahawks last week. Obviously, it was a pretty close game. I think the final score was 13-10, so it was a very low-scoring game. Obviously, it was a rainy night there in Seattle, so it's tough to get a lot of offense generated. Jameis Winston's going to have to step up and have a big-time game here. I think he's going to need to make some plays down the field. I think if they try and play the simple game and only have Alvin Kamara running the ball and they're doing lots of screen passes and stuff, I don't think that's going to be enough to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think you're going to have to hit some deep balls and some long bombs on that secondary of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers since they're dealing with so many injury woes. It's going to be a time for Jameis Winston and that wide receiver core to kind of take over the game on the outside. And I think that's going to be the key to their victory. And I think the Saints are going to come in here, play a hard-nosed game. That Saints defense has been outstanding so far this season. I think the Bucs are going to be coming in a little bit overconfident, thinking that this is going to be a guaranteed dub. And they are dealing with some injuries to that Bucs team. So I think the Saints are going to pull off a close upset here by a final score of 30-28 for the New Orleans Saints, you guys. Then we got the Washington football team versus the Denver Broncos. Now, the Broncos have been just in shambles since that 3-0 start, very similar to the Panthers. You guys just have not been very good as of late. Teddy Bridgewater's kind of been hit and miss so far this season. That Broncos defense hasn't looked very good in the last couple of weeks either. Washington hasn't been winning a lot this year, but they've been in games. They've been close. That defense is starting to get rolling a little bit. They had a pretty nice game against my Packers there, being able to sack Aaron Rodgers a few times. So I'm expecting the Washington football team to be able to bounce back here and take another victory over the Broncos here by a final score of 27-24 for Washington, you guys. And that's it for the Sunday afternoon games. Then we're heading over to the Sunday night football. This should be a good game as well. We've got the Cowboys versus the Vikings. Obviously, the Cowboys are off to a hot start so far this year. The Vikings are kind of reeling right now. They're going to need a big-time victory to kind of keep up in the playoff race. I think the Cowboys are just going to be coming in a little bit overconfident right now. Not that I think they're a bad team at all. I just think the Vikings are going to be that much more hungry for the W, obviously, because their season's more on the line. Whereas the Cowboys could lose a game or two and still easily win their division, no problem. Whereas the Vikings here have already lost their handful of games this season so far. They're going to need to grind out some wins if they're going to want to compete for a playoff spot. And plus they're playing on their home field here as well. So I'm going to take the Vikings in a close one by a final score of 30-27, you guys. And then the Monday night matchup, we got the Giants versus the Chiefs. Now this should also be a good game just because you got two teams who are very desperate for a win. The Giants have had a abysmal start to their season. I mean, another losing season is what it's looking like for them. Another season missing the playoffs, finishing below 500. They have not been very good so far this year. They've had a couple good moments in games, couple key wins and things like that, but nothing major. They've lost a lot so far this season. The Chiefs has not looked very good either. That they got the worst defense in the league right now. Patrick Mahomes is turning the ball over at least once per game at this rate so far in the season. But I do think the Chiefs are going to have enough to bounce back and get the victory here on their home field. I just can't see them losing to this Giants squad, especially if they want to keep pace and be able to keep pushing forward to maybe try and take the lead in their division or at least get into a wild card spot. So I'm going to take the Chiefs by a final score of 28-24, you guys. And that rounds up the NFL Week 8 game picks. Like I said, we're 0-1 on the Thursday night game. I bet against my Packers, you guys. It was a mistake, but I'm glad that I lost that bet because I figured Cardinals would have been able to take that one just with all the injury woes. Packers were able to hang on and pull out the victory there in a close one. Hopefully we can get on track here with the rest of the games this week, keep above 500 on our record. Like I said, we're 67-37 overall this season, so plus 30, which is pretty gnarly. I don't think I've ever picked this well before in an NFL season. I'm usually closer to the 500, so to be 30 games above 500 is pretty nice so far, about halfway through the season, you guys. So anyways, would love to get your guys' opinion in the comment section down below. Who are you guys taking in Week 8 game picks in the NFL? Would love your guys' opinion, like I said, in the comment section down below. Please go ahead and like this video if you like sporting content like this. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're looking for more sporting content like this in the near future. Appreciate all the support I've been getting lately, you guys. Thanks for watching this video, and this is Nizzy with Nizzy Sports Chat.